bad?
Um, the first thing I tell myself is it's not that deep. I'll get over this in 2 weeks. Honestly, that was very hard for me to like take in freshman first year of college because, I'm a statistics major, so a lot of more majority of my classes were and are statistics and math based. And in high school, math came like very easy to me. I like studied, but I didn't study that much because I already like knew the content. Thought that was going to be the same for me when I went to college, and it was like it was not. Honestly, I think it was like the total opposite. I think I was one of the few, like I was that type of person that really needs to spend time in order to, be comfortable at a topic. And that was really hard for me to digest because when I got my like first exam grade, I'm like, what? I'm pretty sure I got like a 50 on the calc exam one day, and that like blew my mind because I never expected that to happen. And I told myself at some point you're going to realize like it's not that deep. I'm still in college. I have an internship this summer. It is really not that deep. Um, I think I think another way I coped was just like, I think venting, talking about it to a friend, to a family member really helped. Cause I think having support, having someone else tell you like, you're okay. It's not that deep. I think that also helps as well. So again, like talk to people, talk about your problems. And yeah, it's really not that serious. I mean, it's don't like do bad at everything, but occasional like bad test grade, it's not the end of the world. I would say honestly, I think especially now that I'm in college, I realize how important this is, but sleep is very important, especially when you're now in college and you have like final exams. I know like at my high school, I didn't really have like semester like exams at the end. But sleep is very important just because I think I knew people even in high school who had the tendency to stay up until like 3 a.m. study for exams, working on homework, things like that. And you'll learn, and they'll tell you this in college as well, your freshman year, that your brain doesn't retain any information if it's fatigued. And you're gonna know at some point if you have this habit and now you're in college that you're gonna wake up, you're gonna study until like 4 a.m. and then you're gonna do the test and you're gonna regret not sleeping. And so adding to that, I would say don't procrastinate. I know it's so much easier said than done, but if you procrastinate, that's gonna happen and you're not gonna do as well as you wanted to. So I always like to be organized, like make an agenda, have a calendar. Like I have Google Calendar on my phone that has everything I need to do and stay consistent with that. I think because I was able, and I learned these actually habits like even like towards the end of high school into college just to be organized so that, you can set time for yourself and you don't stress over doing everything last minute. So I think that's like good piece of advice I'd like to give.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think one really good point that Amara made was just to, like pursue your passions because at the end of the day, like when you apply to college, you're like trying to tell a story and trying to make yourself stand out. And I think it's really hard. I mean, there's so many people who are like super well rounded and are involved in like all sorts of extracurriculars, but it's really just about like what can you write about like a ton, and what can you write a really compelling story about, and then I would say kind of pursue that, and like don't do something just because like you're like, oh, like I'm gonna do this competition because it's gonna help me in this area. I feel like that's not the way to go. I think really just, yeah, like focus on what you're interested in. Like Amara said, build good habits. And then also I would suggest like in terms of applying to college, like start thinking about things a little bit earlier. Um, like if you know that like, for example, for me, like rock climbing was one of my really big hobbies. I was competitive in it since I was like 12, I think. And so like I knew that that was going to be a big part of my college application. Like, sorry, not application, but like a big part of my essays and stuff. And so I started thinking about that like the summer before I applied and like started drafting things just because like whenever the semester starts and you're busy and you have all your extracurriculars and classes again, like it's sometimes hard to like make time to write. And I do think that that's one of the most important parts. So
I think that factors into being organized as well. Honestly, I think especially for like my harder subjects, I would start studying 2 weeks before, and everyone used to tell me that like that's so like much time. Like, why are you starting it now? But I honestly think that's way more valuable than memorizing things. So, I would do active recall, like tell myself, like, what do I not know? I would have a friend with me. And it is true that I think in order to like be master at something, you should be able to explain a subject or a topic very well. And, so I spent time studying, like talking to friends, like, this is this, just explaining it well. And also, I think this is very traditional, but I really like flashcards. Even I like writing things down. If I need to memorize something through that, I will. I like making like practice exams for myself. Also, in college, a lot of your professors won't necessarily give you study guides. But what I would do is, I would ask my professors, like, what are the most, like, topic is most likely going to be on my exams? Like, what are the most important topics I should learn? And honestly, I would use ChatGPT to generate, like, easy, medium, hard questions based off of that. And, I would make, like, yeah, I didn't have like the best GPA or like the perfect GPA. I think because I don't for like I my high school we did like weighted GPAs, so I'm not really sure what my unweighted was. I think weighted on like the 5.0 scale was like a 4.5, 4.4. I honestly don't remember. I think my unweighted when I calculated it was like a 3.8. So again, not perfect, but I didn't. Again, that wasn't like that big of a deal to where it affected my college application. So don't strive to have like the perfect GPA. You you really don't. And if you do have a perfect one, that's great. But if you don't and you're like beating yourself up for it, it's not the end of the world. Um, in terms of AP classes, well, I first of all I took
Thank you. What are your thoughts on academic integrity when using tools like AI for assignments?
um I would start off by saying that, you can use AI without violating integrity. I think when it comes to the point that you're like cheating is when you're asking AI to do your homework. I always avoided that just because not only are you not learning anything, that like reduces your critical thinking if you're not like actively thinking on how to solve a problem. So the main way I approached using AI is if I'm ever stuck on something, I would ask like, maybe chat, like, what is the best way to approach this? And that really helped. But I didn't really have any issues with like my integrity. I know I've had like friends who have more writing based majors, and especially now with AI and like writing essays, I think a lot more professors are very like they're really paranoid that people are using AI to like write their essays. And I've had friends who've had issues with professors when they claim that their writing was like not theirs. Luckily I haven't I'm not taking those classes, so I really don't have like experience with that. So as far as what my perspective is, I like to use it as a tool, not like as a way to cheat. I honestly think my scores increased a lot when I used like assistance, especially with like creating new problems and stuff. But don't use AI to like cheat. You can use it as a tool, but at the end of the day, you're learning these subjects for a reason. Don't let something else do it for you.
Yeah, honestly, like meeting people wasn't necessarily that hard for me because uh, Harvard has like we have pre-orientation programs, which I know a lot of schools have like similar programs as well. But like then we have FOP, which is the outdoor program. We have FOP, which is the urban program. We have the international program. We have the arts program. And they give a lot of these ways to like meet people with similar interests to you. Like my first like interaction with other students in my year, like we were just thrown into a van and like driven to the Appalachian Trail and we are just told to hike every day for a week. We were backpacking. And like honestly, that was like a good experience because first of all, it was raining every single day of our trip, so we were really trauma bonding. And then I went back and I was like super grateful for being in a bed and everything. So like that for me is like my first experience in like just meeting random people at college. And then after that, all of the freshmen at Harvard live in the Yard, which is like this area where like it's a bunch of all the freshman dorms and stuff. So we have like the system where there's entryways, which is like the people that you live closest with. And we have a ton of events like that to meet the people you live with. And then we also have this big dining hall called Annenberg. And then all of the freshmen all go to the same dining hall. So that was also a really good way to meet people in my year. And then again, like all colleges have similar things. Like they have like, I'm assuming like A&M probably has like a bunch of like orientation stuff as well. So it's like definitely like not hard to meet people. I will say though, like just like make yourself talk to people if you're introverted. It can be hard, but like at the end of the day, like worst case scenario, like great, you were a little bit shy, but like no one's gonna be like, oh, like that person's like not interested in you or something just because you're like forcing yourself to talk to people and stuff. And I feel like everyone pretty much is like in the same boat. Like no one knows anyone. They're trying to make friends. So yeah, just be like open to meeting people, be social, even if you're like normally not. And it's honestly just a lot of fun. So you guys will have.
How do you find and apply for internships, research opportunities, or campus jobs?
The number one thing people will tell you is networking. I think, and for some reason, I feel like many people think that's just like cheating. Like this person got that internship because they knew this person and this person. But the truth is, like, even outside of internships, like getting like jobs, it's who you know. I've known people who are like very on top of their classes, like doing this, are amazing like interviewers who got denied from internships because they chose someone that was like they already knew, like the recruiter knew. And that may seem unfair, but that is like the reality of it is that you need a network and that you can do that and you can do that by going to like a good like intro to that is like career fairs. I know A&M has like different career fairs for business, engineering. Um, not saying you'll be guaranteed an internship from that, but that's a good step into like talking to recruiters, giving them your resume so that they know you. That can really make you stand out, in the application process. They're going to be more inclined to like interview someone that they know rather than just like an unknown. Because especially for like banking at least, like JP Morgan, the most prestigious financial institution in the world, they get like 300,000 applications for like very few spots. I can guarantee you they're not going through every application. And I know that sounds unfair, but they're not. They're gonna prioritize people that they know. So try your best to network. Again, with the Career Center, the, um, I don't really have any specific questions, but yeah, if you're starting college applications soon, just again, take a deep breath. As much of a big change college is, it's not the scariest thing ever. Especially from someone introverted like me, I'm doing just fine. So yeah, I just want to thank y'all for inviting me to this panel. I was really looking forward to it, and it was really nice to, just give advice and tips and give any answers to questions people might have. So yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. And
Of
thanks for,
course. It's nice meeting y'all.
it was nice
Thank
to
you
meet you.
guys.
It was great having you on the panel. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Good job, guys.
Thanks. Okay, I'm going to end the meeting now then. Thank you for coming, everyone. And yeah, thanks. Good job, guys.